You know, these normal canopies that everybody uses, that we all use. Right. They got the frame, and the cross beams, and the canopy connects to it with a couple pieces of Velcro. Makes a pyramid. How could that kill you? The rain builds up, and inside these triangles starts to sag a little bit, and it pulls on this, and this is not secured. And it starts to put tension, and then it pulls more, and the more it sags, the more it's able to build up more weight. Water, even slight rain, building up over time, an hour or two, starts to pull and pull. See what happens when I do that? It starts to pull there, and this happens, and we've all seen this. And then it has this little pit, and you're like, oh, and you push it out. It's no big deal. But if you leave it, then those little Velcro things get weak over time, and one of them breaks, then you have a big divot. Then this pulls more and more, and it gives this more strength to be able to pull more, and the other one comes off. What happened? Sleep in your hiking tent under a canopy, and all of a sudden there's a crash, and over 100 pounds of water crashes onto you. The frame buckles, breaks, bends over, even tied off with ropes and braced. It's not strong enough. They're really thin metal, tubular, hollow poles. So it's just bent. The joints are never strong. They just bend and break under too much stress. Whole thing collapses, loses structural integrity. That buckled. Whole thing collapsed in. Good thing I wasn't in there. If I was, though, I would have been paying much more attention. I knew that was happening. I didn't think it would be that bad. If you're in there when this happens, especially on a beach, people would be doing this all the time. They go to sleep, especially drinking. There's deaths, okay? That's your door into your tent. You got 100 pounds of water and structure that fell on you, and, you know, a lot of times people put a tarp or even two. That's 2 layers of water. When you're pushing this water around, it's a big fluid mass that you can never get a hold of. You can't control it. It's not like dumping a bucket out of a big bucket of water. Imagine a 5-gallon bucket, but it's the weight of it's a good 5 or 6 of those buckets. You can't lift that up over your head. You're not strong enough. You have to hope to push some of it out at a time with as much force as you can, and a little bit. If you could just tip it a little bit and get some of it to push, then you're pushing. It gets lighter and lighter, and you're able to push it. But you can't even do that because it's not one big solid container. It's moving all over. It's going over there. You can never get it unless you can make yourself like a teepee type of a shape, and everything can flow off, but then it's going to go to there. Then the ridge goes up. Over here, the ridge goes up. Over there, the ridge goes up. That's why rooftops are shaped how they are, and all the peaks and eaves are shaped how they are. And the valleys. Now and there is a pit of water. That whole thing is about the size of like a person. If that was on you, and this structure, that could have fell on your neck, on your head. It could be suffocating you. A bunch of that water could rush in while you're trying to get out. You're getting tangled up. There's poles. There could be broken fiberglass, snapped. Luckily, I think these just bent over. I don't know if this tent is trashed or not, but I took one of the buckles out, one of the poles. One came out on its own. And I mean, if you're in there, you might get trapped. Talk about being claustrophobic and terrified of like dying by drowning, terrified by dying from like asphyxiation, running out of air, being enclosed in something, or like all the things put together, like running out of air, being drowned, being suffocated. enclosed in a box, buried, having a big weight on top of you. All this stuff at once. You know, you're trying to get out, you start ripping the fabric, your arms are getting caught through these bars, you're trying to fit through these little triangles, your head is getting fucked, like, you know, you're trying to jam yourself through here, you finally get out, stuff is tangled, it's getting caught in here. I mean, you wouldn't think it's all that crazy complicated, but when you're in that kind of thing and you get tangled up in some stuff like this, and you don't have like a little pocket of air to breathe and you're starting to panic, you're fucked, man. Like, you need to get out immediately, and you need to have like a microsecond to think and not panic, but you're panicking and you can't do that, so you panic. It's just like a self-feeding thing. Like, you can't, all you need is like a little bit of relief so you can, okay, but you can't get that like breath in. It's always like, yeah, like, what do I do? And you're just, oh shit, oh God, like, you know, nobody has told that story, and like the people who died couldn't tell the story of how that felt. You can only just think of, whoa, that must have been what it's like, because I've gone through that, but made it out and been close to that where, oh my God, if I wouldn't have just chill, I could get trapped in some shit. It could happen, but you know, yeah, this whole thing, I heard it crash down. I didn't think it'd be that bad when it happened, but that fucking tent is flat. There's a couple bags in there, stuff being stored. The weight of this just plopped over like with no warning. Like a tree branch, a widowmaker, there's no warning. You don't get time to look and react. It's not a TV show. You're not an action hero and you get to jump out of the way and fucking dive and roll and shit. Oh, like, no, dude, like, just, you'll hear and you might not even know what happened. If it hits you, it comes next to you, crashes on your legs or something. But it could be a canopy with, instead of the weight of a deadly limb, it's the weight of that same weight crushing onto you with poles and fucking tarps and all that weight of that water. So if you got stuck under there, it'd be terrible. You could have water rushing in, then water, you can't, the more you're trying to push it out, it's rushing into you. Plus, the other thing that's messed up about this is that when it's like this, everything is saturated. When you pull up on it, watch what happens. When I pull up on the fabric, it's not just going to come up, it's going to go, because of the surface tension of water, it sticks to everything, so it's going to stick to it and make a peak. Watch. See how it sticks to it? If you get enough suction, it will stick to it and create, like, if you get enough seal, it'll create like a vacuum. It's like it grabs it, and if you get enough of that and you're pushing up too much, it can seal. And yeah, if you have water in there, no good. That's how a fucking canopy could kill somebody. Careful.